Oh, hi, everybody. Let me do this.
Welcome to Evangelical-ish, where we discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of the American Evangelical Church, deconstruction, faith, and God's love through it all. Join us for these episodes live on our Evangelical-ish YouTube page on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 o'clock Pacific. Let's journey together.
Well, that was a smooth start to season 5. Whoever is operating the board sucks today. Jeez Louise, what's going on there? Hi, everybody. Welcome to Evangelical-ish. As we said, season 5. We've been gone for like our longest stretch ever, and we're excited to be back with you. I am Paul.
I'm April.
And I'm Jeremy.
We're all back. The band is back together again.
Yes.
It was such a long break. I feel like everything happened in our break, and we didn't get to talk about it.
There was a lot of low-hanging fruit while we were out, for sure. Like, there was definitely some stuff to grab. There's no doubt.
Almost too many topics to talk about happening over the holidays. We hope you had a great holiday time around Thanksgiving, or if we're allowed to call it Thanksgiving anymore, I'm not totally sure. And so we're culturally sensitive to those of you who find Thanksgiving offensive, and we understand that. And to those of you who had to abide family, not enjoy them, our hearts to you as well.
Amen to that.
And what we found over the holidays is that Christianity these days is nutso and is causing people to become terrible people, and do cracky, terrible things.
Wacky, cracky, ridiculous things.
And so our idea was we're going to blind react to videos of cracky Christians.
Some of us have seen them, and we've sent each other the thing. So some of us have pre-seen them. Some of us are going in blind.
No, listen,
but
it's been
some
a few
of the
weeks
wackiest stuff from November, since we basically skipped the whole month.
It's been a few weeks since I've told you guys this stuff, right? Like, I mean, just so you know, like, I would never watch some of this stuff, like the God's Not Dead trailer. You guys are dead to me. That's what it is.
and yet here you are. But this keeps us humble. I think this
and
keeps
yet
our
here you are.
This keeps our fire going, like when you see, sometimes it's hard. It's easy to forget that these people exist, and like, oh no, this is why we left the evangelical church. It's it's good to be reminded. Not that they're not always in our face all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, they're right here. But can we pause and appreciate Kristen's comment about April? Your bun is adorbs. That is.
Oh,
the comment
thank you,
from
Kristen.
So,
this is literally all my kids are sick. My spouse is sick. I'm getting over being sick, and I'm like, messy bun it is. So, but I
know what, April, you're doing your video about the Christian mom. You're doing that exact thing right now. Like, oh, I'm such a mess.
Oh, I am. Oh, you know what? I woke up like this. I'm a hot mess.
My home is just such a mess because the lady hasn't come by to clean up.
I'm so ugly, guys. Like, I can't even.
Look at how dirty my wall is. Do you see this white wall is so dirty? Yeah, that video was so funny. By the way, I am not you. I just, there are days that I'm like, I'm creative, but I'm not April. So,
well, I appreciate it. I mean, I feel like I just have a lifetime worth of content that I've like secretly been like, that's weird. And then now it's like, well, I've got an infinity amount of stuff to talk about and make fun of. So,
all right, let's blind react to our first video. This is we'll go with anti-vaccine activist. Her last name is Tenpenny, Sherry Tenpenny. And so let's blind react.
Erica, people. And it's your job to stop everybody and wake them up and shove it in their face. And if they defund you off of social media, who cares? Now it's about trying to save unborn babies and pregnant women. It's about they now are actually starting a trial to give these shots to 6-month-olds. This is child sacrifice.
Wow.
Child sacrifice.
What?
Of Babylonian mystery schools. And if you see anybody participating in this, you need to be challenging them of what they are doing to their spirituality and what they are sacrificing their children to. You know, I had a really good friend who said, you know, we sacrificed over 60 million unborn babies in abortion. We have multiple states in this country who actually allow late-term abortion. Now we are doing very, 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 very late-term abortion by killing 5-year-olds.
Oh my God.
With the COVID vaccine?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Okay, which one of
There's
you
a-
yahoos sent that?
What the?
So giving your child the COVID vaccine is the equivalent of child sacrifice, apparently. Also, did you know in the dark corners of white evangelical Facebook, they are calling people that get the COVID vaccine trans-blooded? And if they don't have it, you're pure-blooded. Your hashtag
Yes, I saw the
purebloods.
pure blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the pure blood.
They're very proud of it. Okay.
I don't even know what to say.
Like,
to
what do
that.
you even? Where do you even start with that nonsense?
People
Oh
are
my
so dumb. Like, I feel like some of these people actually believe it though. So sidebar, we mentioned this earlier. It's not like technically a topic, but there's a big Christian television channel called Daystar that's based out of Texas. And Marcus and Joni Lamb are the people that have started it, and they're like on all the shows and stuff. Well, they've been pushing anti-COVID vaccine and just tons of COVID misinformation since the beginning. And he just died of COVID yesterday. And apparently my mom watched it. I didn't watch it, but they had a show last night to honor him. And, you know, they're obviously very sad because it's tragic. It was a needless death. He was obviously unvaccinated. And they said that they tried their remedies, like their natural remedies that they tell everyone else to do because that they believe in with him. And it didn't work. But she said like, and we still believe in that.
So Rachel brought up a really great point in the chat talking about that pure blood is a problematic term. And that is actually something that was used, a term that was used in World War II. The Nazis would talk about being pure blooded.
Mm-hmm. Don't they talk about purebloods in Harry Potter too? And I think she based that on the Nazis as well.
Yeah.
And that's less problematic because it's a fantasy world, but yes.
You missed me with that one, but
oh yeah, I forgot you watch nothing and are lame. So
welcome back.
Season 5. All right. Our next blind react is actually somebody I know pretty well. Wait, let me get it. His name is Mario Murillo. And let me see if I have the right one here. Oh, this is him. Yeah. Yep. And so he's going to talk about something crazy here. Let's blind react.
This is the most demonic thing I've seen in a long time. The indoctrination of children, giving an experimental thing to children and without answering the question. See, to me, this is the worst form of bullying and peer pressure that you could possibly use in society. And these adults, I don't know if they have a conscience or not, because the question of children is going to be the defeating force of the left. It's what's going to get you. If you're a leftist, please look at me. And even, you know, the funny part is I can tell you this, and you're still going to go down that pernicious road and make that hideous mistake.
Pernicious road.
Going after the children. When the men's gay chorus in San Francisco sang and said, we're going to go after the children.
What does that have to do with anything?
And there's going to be to this Sesame Street.
When people do nutty.
Sesame Street. She's talking about Sesame Street.
And they're gonna switch this off, and you're gonna watch this firestorm, because once you make it about the children, that's when all of the left, right, Republican, Democrat labels go out the window. If you come after my child, I'm done with you. I'm finished.
Oh.
And that's what you're going to see is the end result.
Please be done with me.
Attempt by Sesame Street to indoctrinate children and their parents, by the way. This is.
Oh my gosh.
Sesame Street indoctrinating kids now?
They did a vaccine episode, I guess, where they were encouraging kids to get like the importance of vaccines. And I've seen a lot of people being like, Sesame Street's gone woke. Boycott.
Yeah, well, they also got mad because, like, apparently at some point they said that Gonzo was like they them or something like that, and that
Mm.
really
Isn't
didn't go
Gonzo
well.
a Muppet?
Yeah, Gonzo. Oh, well, no, it was on Sesame Street, so it must not have been Gonzo. You're right. He's a Muppet.
Gonzo, I think Gonzo is also they them though.
Tina is saying Big Bird got vaxxed, though, I guess.
Oh, Big Bird, got vaxxed in an episode.
Heck
So they've gone woke.
Ted Cruz lost his mind over Big Bird is what Ted Cruz.
You know, it's crazy. Like, he's saying the thing about the gay men's chorus, and they did this really clever, beautiful song about we're coming after your children. And isn't it amazing, like, when we're going to see Lauren Boebert say cracky, nutty stuff, and everybody's like, oh, it's a joke. Come on. But then the San Francisco gay men's chorus, they're coming after our children. It's
like,
such
why?
a ridiculous hypocrisy.
Like, what goes on in evangelicals' minds when they're like, I'm going to say something so outlandish and call it demonic and call it child sacrifice. Oh, you know what's missing? A little homophobia. Got to bring in the gay men's chorus while we're at it, which has nothing to do with Sesame Street.
I saw a similar video the other day from that pastor that floats around TikTok occasionally, the Pursuit Church guy or whatever that we see occasionally.
Insane.
I don't know if I know.
One of that he had the sermon about peeing standing up or something. And
oh man, I've seen several sermons on that. I grew up in Oklahoma Baptist churches. No man pisseth against the wall. Yeah, I've definitely lived through that. KJV only, but no, he was talking about how terrible deconstruction was. And how horrible people who were deconstructing were and how heretical they were. And then he just like straight up like Evel Knievel hops into like sexuality. And it was just like, what did you just like run out of things to say and just grab something that would continue to resonate with your cult? Like, I don't know. It's just,
I swear they cannot have like a conversation without bringing up abortion or like trans people and homophobia.
They can't do it.
I saw a clip with that idiot the other day saying, if you stand with BLM, close the doors. We'll take it from here. That was the one. That was the one. Gosh. And
I don't think he said anything about Black Lives Matter. He said something about, he listed like, maybe BLM was in there, but it was a list of things where he was like, if you're not going to affirm the authority, the inerrant, infallible authority of Scripture, don't worry, stay closed. We'll take it from here. Because they were making fun of churches who had closed during the pandemic.
Stupid.
By the way, Bert and Ernie are gay. Who are we kidding?
Of course they're gay. They've been roommates forever. Yeah. Duh. I have to read too. Stephanie said in the chat that someone set up a parody account on Twitter for Big Bird for Senate to run against Ted Cruz. I love that so much. I want to go to the next Ted Cruz rally in a Big Bird suit.
Wouldn't that then be be Big Bird running against the Count?
The Count. Ted Cruz is the Count.
But you couldn't distinguish. Like, you can't put doppelgangers next to each other and hope to figure out who's who.
All right, our next blind react. So, speaking of racism, let's throw in a Republican representative from Colorado, the distinguished Lauren Boebert.
Trigger warning.
Yes, trigger warning is correct.
And there she is, Ilhan Omar. And I said, well, she doesn't have a backpack. We should be fine.
All right, did you catch it?
Excuse me?
Yeah, caught that. What the crap? How do people think that's okay to say? And that people would laugh? Ugh, that one I can't laugh about. That one pisses me off.
Full on Islamophobia.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, full on Islamophobia, but I mean, let's even talk more about like how small you must be to make, terrorist jokes or whatever towards a United States Congresswoman.
Yeah,
she is a Congresswoman.
A Congresswoman saying that about another Congresswoman, and so then she like said, "Oh, it was a joke, ha ha ha." She called Omar apparently to apologize. Omar, by the way, says this elevator encounter never happened. It was totally made up, and and Omar asked her to publicly apologize, and she said Boebert doubled down on it, and Omar ended up hanging up on her because Omar was getting death threats. So Boebert was saying it was just a joke. Oh, it just, and now there's video of her saying the same story at another event back in September. So it is a practiced, rehearsed, and planned story to tell at fundraisers by a horrible, horrible person who is a Christian representative in Congress from Colorado.
And there's more. She said that at more rallies too.
Absolutely.
Like that's been a regular joke.
It's a part of her stand-up routine at this point. Yeah.
How problematic. I mean, oh yes, we know the Republicans are very problematic, but just the fact that she could go to multiple little campaign rallies for herself, say that joke, and not one person comes up to her and says, "Hey, you know what? That's pretty racist. Maybe not say that."
That's when you know you're in an echo chamber. Like that's when you know that you have surrounded yourself with no free thinkers. You're just a bunch of what I want to say is idiots. But when you're just a bunch of like-minded idiots, I don't know. I can't think of another word because they're just idiots.
And Patrick's right, in the video clip back in September, which I played on a TikTok video today. She says Omar is part of the jihad squad.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus, no, she did not.
She did.
God,
but also, like, even
mighty.
joking about, like, first of all, it's racist against another congresswoman, but we also shouldn't be joking about jihad either, because, like, that has actually killed people.
And she said on Fox News that Omar supports terrorists and other countries. I mean, it's awful. And Kevin McCarthy from Bakersfield down the road here is total chicken shit, and he won't do anything about it. In fact, he said Paul Gosar and MTG and these really horrible people, if the Republicans take control of the House next year, they will get promoted to better committee positions than they have now.
Isn't Lauren Boebert also the one that showed up to the Congress chamber with a "Let's Go Brandon" mask?
Yes, she did.
I think Ted Cruz did too. Or I don't know. Oh, she also wore a "Let's Go Brandon" dress. Like, and it was in the same style as AOC's "Tax the Rich" dress.
You know what's crazy to me is this is a Christian person, and I just have to just keep using air quotes because there's nothing like Christ in that. Saying this, not just a representative of the United States, but a Christian who thinks she has the right to do this. And you're right. Everybody laughs in the place. There's no groan. There's nobody saying, "Oh, come on, let's not do that." I mean, yeah, I agree, Rachel. She's a trash box.
Trash box. I lost my train of thought. I'm tired. Continue.
All right. Should we do another one here?
Should we?
We got to get to my one that I'm really excited about for y'all to
all right.
react to.
This is one of Jeremy's favorite. What's his, Jason Lahmeyer? Is that his name?
Jackson Lahmeyer, the Senate candidate from Oklahoma. He's running against James Lankford because James Lankford is not conservative enough.
Oh my gosh.
James Lankford is one of the most conservative people in Senate. But go ahead, Jackson. Take it away.
Take it away, Jackson.
Well, Anthony Fauci is responsible for the creation of this man-made biological weapon virus called COVID-19. And I have made the commitment. I am going to call out Anthony Fauci every single day because Anthony Fauci is a mass murdering demon doctor, as Madison Cawthorn called him. I'm a Luciferian. Madison Cawthorn called him a demon doctor. We call him a Luciferian. But Anthony Fauci
checks out.
will be fired, arrested, and convicted for crimes against humanity.
I'm surprised he didn't say executed.
Amazing that you've got a guy like Anthony Fauci gets away with mass murder. We're talking mass murder and destruction like we've
wouldn't
never
Donald
seen
Trump
before in our lifetime.
get credit for that?
And, you know, and everybody knows this. You got Fauci.
Because it was going to
He's in it
miraculously
with
disappear,
Bill
right?
Gates, and you tie that back into Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, it's just this crooked, nefarious, evil, corrupt world. And here's this guy, St. Fauci. Oh, my goodness. He walks on water. You say anything negative about him, and the whole world just blows up. They worship this guy, and it's unbelievable. They worship a mass murderer. He's a mass murderer.
How is he a mass murderer? I
He
have a
belongs
question.
in prison. But Kyle Rittenhouse,
Oh.
who defends
Oh, you're
himself
kidding.
against
No.
a convicted pedophile, a convicted woman beater, is fighting for his life not to go to prison.
Oh, you're kidding.
Our nation's living upside down right now.
I agree with that statement. It is upside down. These people are insane. Why does he talk like that? Is he? That's weird.
Welcome to
inflection.
Oklahoma. He is a pastor in Oklahoma.
He's from Oklahoma.
He is a pastor in Oklahoma.
Why does
Who
he
did not vote for Joe Biden?
Why does half the time he sound like
Yeah,
he's
he
just
did
super Italian?
Because that is like that cross between like I tried to be educated, but I'm also like still a
Anthony
hick, so you got
Fauci.
yeah, but he also gets the R's in the he's washed in the blood instead of washed in it.
Warshed. Yeah, he's like Southern Italian. It's a weird
washed in the
mix.
blood. Yeah. Listen, this
Fauci.
guy is a black eye on America, but especially Oklahoma. And I've been talking about this guy on my platform on TikTok for a hot minute because he is gaining traction in Oklahoma.
Mm.
Oh my
He
God.
is primary challenging James Langford. And James Langford is like voted like 98% conservative in the last session. James Langford is like one of the most conservative senators in the country.
But that 2% makes him a demon.
But that
Or a
2%,
Luciferian.
a Luciferian.
Luciferian. Oh my gosh. Okay, we
And this
totally
guy
missed
has
Kyle
a big
Rittenhouse.
church in Tulsa.
I hate that. A big church.
Yeah.
I'm like kind of feeling kind of depressed about humanity right now. Not humanity, just Christianity. Which
I
is
have
why
not seen this before, by the way, and I am
you're
livid.
you're about ready to go make a TikTok about it.
Oh, from my toes to my
How can you call Dr. Fauci a mass murderer, which I still don't understand how he's a mass murderer.
Because they're uneducated and they think that
they think the
vaccine is killing people, and it is not. It is absolutely 100% not.
I think they think Fauci worked with Wuhan labs to create
start the
disease.
virus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
For whatever purpose. And to me, the criminal in all this, if you want to blame a bunch of deaths in America on people, Donald Trump is the guy you got to blame it on. He's the one that refused to do anything about it. When
he wanted the vaccine named after himself.
Yeah.
I know.
Do we not remember that?
I honestly would have been fine if they did name the vaccine after Trump, if it would get all of these idiots vaccinated.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what it's called. I would have taken I would have taken a Trump vaccine.
You want the COVID-19 vaccine or you want the Trump vaccine? Oh, I'll take the Trump vaccine.
Seriously, they should offer that. You want the MAGA vax?
You want the MAGA vax?
MAGA vax?
You just have one needle. Do you want the Trump vaccine or the Fauci vaccine?
Oh my gosh.
Trump? Okay, cool.
We were on break for Rittenhouse. We didn't even talk about that.
That's just code for Moderna and Pfizer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, so I did a video on Rittenhouse and him doing the OK symbol, and I swear I had over 100 people comment almost the same word for word comment about, well, do you know that President Obama used the same symbol? And it is just crazy that right-wing media, Christian media, which are now pretty much the same thing, can just tell people things and they immediately go out and recite them word for word. It is we have become this manipulated people that then can tie all these conspiracy theories in, and it's really sad to watch.
But also, I've seen so many I'm going to say Christians. I can't put quotes around it because I feel like at this point, like Christian is the word is tainted.
It's what
like,
it is. Yeah.
Like we have to accept them into our flock. Like I feel like ideologies I used to believe is what's created this monster. So I can't like remove myself from the responsibility, but I also don't really want to call myself a Christian anymore because of these insane people. But anyway, what I was going to say is I saw countless of Christians on the conservative side hailing Kyle Rittenhouse as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one thing to say he's not guilty, okay, self-defense, whatever, but a hero, he literally killed people. Like, who did he save? He saved, I guess, himself. But how does that make someone a hero? A hero is someone who lays down their life for someone else, not killing people in the process.
Full transparency. I think there is. Let me back up. The fact that the judge threw out the illegal weapons charge is insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, that the prosecutor couldn't refer to the people he killed as victims. They had to refer to them as looters or rioters.
Yeah.
How is that? That's so messed up.
And the judge threw out the CBS video where Rittenhouse was saying he wished he had a gun to shoot people who were being accused of shoplifting in CBS. Like, so somebody shoplifts some hairspray and you shoot them?
Yeah, and he's going to take an AR-15 and disintegrate people. I personally, you know, I'm trying to be weighed and measured here and not just sound like a homer, but
right.
I think obviously when it comes to the discussion of self-defense or not, you know, I think that has to play out in the court of law through the system that the United States has, right? But this trial showed none of the things that make America good, right?
Yeah.
It things that were slam dunks for the prosecution were tossed out because, you know, this judge clearly had a bias. And I think they've got every grounds for a mistrial. Now, do I want to see, 17, 18, well, he's 18 now, but an 18-year-old kid get locked away for the rest of his life for being a damn idiot? Not necessarily. But the fact that he is now lauded as a hero and has no consequences for his actions, he went looking for trouble. That's the bottom line. He went looking for trouble. He found exactly what he was looking for.
Yeah. He wanted to use that AR-15.
He did. He wanted to use it.
On human beings.
Yes.
Right. And that's like my whole thing too. Like, I have not really got into the trial, like whatever, not guilty. He should have been charged with something, whether it was what's the one where it's like reckless behavior or whatever.
He should have been charged for the weapon.
Right. Like there were definitely a couple charges.
Weapon.
Yes, exactly. But my whole thing is the system wasn't broken. The system did exactly what the system is supposed to do, which is to protect white kids like Kyle.
Right.
And I really think, like, if it were reversed and a black 17-year-old kid was carrying an AR-15 through a riot, he doesn't get to go home and sleep at night, especially after killing two people. I mean, I think police shoot him on sight.
He wouldn't gone to trial.
Yeah, I asked the question, if a black man had taken an AR-15 to DC on January 6th, would white people be saying self-defense, self-defense, self-defense? And one of our friends, a person of color, came on and said that man would not have survived the day.
Exactly.
There would be no trial because he would have been shot dead on sight.
Can I send you a video to play, Paul? Can you pull one in that fast?
Yeah. Yeah.
On that exact thing. Just sent you a link right now.
Okay. Did you text it or email?
I did. I texted. I'm sorry. Do you need email?
Nope. I can get it.
So
talk amongst yourselves while
you're fine. That was just kind of my whole thing too, is regardless of the actual trial, whether he's guilty, like I don't care about Kyle Rittenhouse. He's an idiot. He was young.
Yeah.
He was a dumb teenager. He was stupid.
Yes.
He killed people with his stupidity, which there should be consequences for that, but whatever. The point of the matter is that it's a perfect example of white privilege.
Yeah.
In this country, and how broken our system actually is, because if there would not be, someone asked me like, well, give me an example of a black kid who did something similar to see if it, and I was like, I cannot give you an example, because black people, especially black men, well, black women too, have been shot by police for much less, for like quite literally nothing.
Well, and I was talking to Jess Eaton, who's been a guest on this show before, about this very thing. She and I were FaceTiming about some other topics, and this came up because it was in the middle of the Rittenhouse trial.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, she said, and I made a video about this, which, by the way, if you don't follow Jess Eaton, you need to follow her. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's great.
She said, think about Kyle Rittenhouse and how people view him as, he was a teenager, maybe making bad decisions, acting in self-defense, whatever the case is, and he was protecting himself, reaching for an AR-15, whatever. And she said, but think about how they talk about Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about how they talk about Trayvon Martin. Well, he was so with Kyle Rittenhouse, he was a kid. He was just acting recklessly. He didn't know what he was doing. He's a child, and he was protecting himself. Trayvon Martin, they talked about him as a man, as a thug who looked suspicious, and they thought he was reaching for a gun. That's the narrative we heard, when really he was a child reaching for Skittles in his pocket.
Yeah. Wow.
And Tamir Rice was 12 years old playing with a toy gun, and police shot and killed him.
Yeah. And how about the defense attorney the other day talking about Ahmaud Arbery's dirty toenails for being in the neighborhood? You shouldn't have been in that neighborhood.
I'm so annoyed.
Well, there's that's something else we didn't even talk about, to bring up, but one of the defense attorneys in that case. But anyway, I don't know. Paul, do you have this video ready?
Video. Let's check it out here.
I have a question. What if, after months of posting how much I didn't like Blue Lives Matter supporters and wouldn't mind putting a bullet in them, on January 6th, I went out of my way, out of the state that I currently lived in, and traveled all the way down there with a weapon that wasn't mine to protect property, the Capitol building, that also was not mine. And when those Blue Lives Matter supporters started to rush the Capitol, I defended myself and ended up killing 2 of them. Do you think the same people that are supporting Kyle Rittenhouse would say I was just defending myself? I don't think so. Because I don't think it's about defending people or government property at all. It's about defending white supremacy.
Oof.
And we all knew that.
Oof.
I have a question.
Yep.
What if
White supremacy.
Wow. Yeah.
I was
He ain't
so
lying.
No.
I was so disappointed in white people, over fellow white people, over the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, because I saw one lady, she's some kind of Christian influencer, was talking about how they were bullying Kyle Rittenhouse, and then turned it into this whole lesson on the importance of teaching about bullying, and it was really stupid. But then there were all these comments from white parents being like, "Oh my gosh, it just makes me so angry. I felt like I was seeing my own kid on the stand, my own kid on trial, and it just broke my heart and made me so angry." I want to be like, that is how Black parents feel all the time when their kids are being killed in the streets for no reason.
Right.
And I was like,
Your baby showed up looking for trouble with an AR-15 in an already hot environment, right? Like it is about de-escalation in situations like that. You think showing up a 17-year-old, listen, we've all been 17 before. Let's take every other factor out of it, and let's just talk about 17-year-old boy walking into an extremely charged situation with an assault rifle. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
This is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
You're just begging for problems. And here's the thing. Kyle Rittenhouse gets off, but so do the shooters of Breonna Taylor, who walked into her home, and there's not a manslaughter charge for executing her in her own home.
Yeah.
I know.
So what do you mean the system is broken? April, you hit the nail on the head. The system is absolutely broken. It is for, and
It's not broken. It's working exactly how intended, which is to protect white people.
And I use
that's good.
Yeah.
I use air quote for Christians because the word Christian means follower of Christ or one that wants to look like Christ.
Little Christ one, yeah.
And there's nothing about this of people wanting to look like Christ anymore. The defense, the thing about Rittenhouse is it is the defense of racism. Now, I can get the self-defense thing, and actually I think the jury came back with the right verdict based upon the evidence they were given. And you can make the argument about self-defense, but to call him a hero for wanting to shoot people to save property, like what matters more to us in America, people or property? And for Christians, I think it couldn't be more clear in the Bible that Jesus said, I'm going to sit with the marginalized people, not with you guys.
Amen.
And they despised him for it. And the church today is, no, don't be with those marginalized people. Sit with your own kind and defend them. And it is evil and disgusting.
Evangelicals have lost their way, and maybe we've been lost for a long time, but there is no love of Jesus in evangelicalism right now as a whole. I'm sure there are good people sprinkled throughout that are just caught up in the madness and in their echo chambers and can't see it. But it's disgusting, and it is such a bad representation of what Jesus came to do. He did not come to bring a sword and to hold up white people. Jesus wasn't even freaking white. I've been like so mad.
And anyway. I always heard about, racism in the Republican Party and the white evangelical church. And I always kind of like, no. And then President Obama got elected. And I'm like, oh yeah, we are massively racist. It unearthed something.
Well, and look how it swung the pendulum for 2016.
Right.
I mean, then you get the most probably vocally white supremacist, racist candidate in history voted into the office of president. I mean, he was very, I probably shouldn't say that because I imagine, while slavery was acceptable in the United States or even on further than that,
he's definitely been the most racist president since racism was not a cool thing.
Yeah. In our lifetime, let's say
make racism cool again. Yeah.
Oh,
make
racism
great again.
That's basically
make racism great again. Means. There you go.
Oh man, that should be one of those hats that's like make racism great again or whatever.
Yeah, or what's it? Make America white again? Is that the?
That guy lives very close to where I live. Anyway.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Actually, April, I love your response to all this because we do need to say, hey, church, if this is who you're going to be, tear the fucking thing down.
Yeah, no thanks. Mm-hmm. No thanks.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to your favorite video, April.
I'm so excited for you guys to watch this one.
I am.
Tell us who this is.
Okay, this is Robin Bullock. I don't know much about him, but he is shared all over Christian Facebook, white evangelical Christian Facebook, I should clarify. He is a Trump prophet. So he is one of the people that prophesies that Trump's the leader. He's very much into end times. He's a self-proclaimed prophet. And a lot of older people have bought into he's kind of like a con televangelist prophet, like
he's a PROFIT, not PROPHET.
Yes, exactly.
All right, here we go. I can't wait to see it. April's so excited.
Let's just say you come into a place and you need a
Oh, this guy.
You're going to go in and buy some tires, and you come in this store, and if you're a tither, as soon as you walk in the door, angels standing around that store would say this. They would say, "Heads up, boys.
Ooh,
tithe money just
are angels boys."
Wow. Covenant circumcised money just came in the house. And so when you tithe, you're circumcising your money. You're dedicating it to God. And so
what did he just say?
Tithe money just walked in the house. Get him the best deal. get him the best price, get him the best of everything.
Wow.
And so the guy that's going to take your car in the back and you're out in the lobby, he's back there looking at the tires and he don't think about nothing.
So if you
But
tithe,
all
your
of a
car
sudden,
never
he
breaks
reaches
down.
up to get a tire for your car, and it has a blemish on the inside of it, and he don't know it.
If you
And
tithe,
you
why
don't
do you
know
need
it,
a new
but that
tire?
angel knows it.
There it
And
is.
you're a covenant man. Your money's
Your
circumcised.
tires should last
So that
forever,
angel
right?
just bumps that old boy down the line, and he don't know why, but he picks the next
They
tire
don't know why.
and puts that on your car. Because the one with the blemish could have blown out when you were going down the interstate and killed you and your whole family.
Gee, wow.
But the devourer was
Gee,
rebuked
wow.
for your sake, and you got the best deal.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And so it allows God to touch every material thing that you have. That's the tithe.
So apparently there are tire shop angels that just wait for people with tithe money to walk in, and then they give them the good tires. They don't remove the tires with the blemishes. They let the non-tithers die with those. But they're
Like I'm saying, if what he's saying is true, I should never need new tires.
Ever.
My tires should never wear out if I tithe, right?
Oh my God. I can't even with this
I would
thing.
like what does circumcised money mean?
Circumcised
I
money.
think this one broke Jeremy.
Little, no, the whole thing broke Jeremy.
I just
little nip
imagine
off the top. Little nip off the top.
what do
Joel, look at
tires
Joel.
what do tire store angels look like? I imagine them like smoking a cigar,
Money
being
was a
like, "Hey
dick.
boys, got some tithe money. Get them the good stuff."
Snipped money, just walked in the house.
She's
And what would the guy in the tire shop think when he's like, he don't know nothing. He reaches for a tire and then that angel just bumps his arm and he doesn't know what happened. I can imagine if I was like reaching and felt a bump on my arm, I'd be like, just like moving on. Oh well.
well, boys, I think we're gonna give them the right tires right over there.
By the way, the worst I ever got screwed at a car shop while I was a tither was at a car shop with a Christian fish on the sign.
Oh, those are I don't trust the Christian tire shops.
Yeah.
They somehow are the worst.
And my tithing angels like didn't make it there or something.
Maybe you only tithed 8% that month.
Maybe.
So you got the blemish
Paul.
tire.
Paul.
I mean, it's so fucking illogical.
It is.
It's
It
crazy
is.
because the story is that the Israelites marching through the desert for 40 years or 38 years, whatever, and their clothes didn't wear out. Their sandals didn't wear out. God preserved all of it. He dropped food from the sky. So if this guy is right, and God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, I should not be in the tire shop needing new tires. My tithes should have saved my tires from wearing out.
And
But
what
you
about
know
all
what?
the tithers that actually have bad things happen to them?
But
Where's the explanation for
Jesus-
that?
But it's in Jesus. Shocker. Let's go back to Jesus. Jesus talks about tithe
Yeah.
in the New Testament. And he says that because you weren't about the love and the justice of God, that your tithe doesn't really matter. Like you're just doing it for show.
Yeah.
You're doing it for, so he's talking to the Pharisees and the scribes and he goes, you brought all your, and he talks about mint and herbs into the storehouse. Right. And he says that, and he says, you brought, your mint, you brought your herbs into the storehouse, but you forgot the love and the justice of God, which is the most important thing. So you can give all the money you want to give, but if you forget about love and justice, you have missed the whole thing. And so that's the reason I firmly believe that tithe, and I talk about this, because I lead an online community just like Paul does now. And I do not take tithes. Like we do not tithe. And the reason for that is because I earnestly believe that people can tithe with their time, their resources, their efforts, their gifts, the things that they do, right? Like, so April, I think that the things that you share on TikTok is a tithe in the sense that you are giving back to our communities wisdom and humor and all of those things that you're good at, right? So they're missing the point. It's not here's physical money. Here's monetary gain for the local church. Like, where did that ever even come from?
And also the local church, like a majority of what you give to the church is just going to keep the business running. Like very little is actually going back into the community.
It's salaries. I mean, Paul, I don't want to put you on blast. I'm willing to answer this question as well. But, you know, some of the churches you served at or led at, like, I mean, what percentage of the annual budget was salaries?
I actually was on the board of a church network, and we did research on this, and it was generally upwards of 80 to 85% of all the income went into salary and building. It was almost all of the money for 501c3s that have a covenant to take care nonprofits spend all of the money on themselves. And much of the giving, charitable giving people give is like, I want to help have more comfortable chairs in the church. So here's my money for, I want to have a better sound system. So here's my, so that it is self-serving giving.
It's honestly like church is like a country club. You pretty much pay 10%. You pay 10% of your income to get the free coffee on Sunday mornings, to get the community, to get the small groups, to get the little events throughout the week or whatever. It's a country club.
I mean, I hear people saying tax the church all the time. And my answer is, well, no, not if they're meeting the covenant of the 501c3. But I really believe we ought to require churches to demonstrate that at least 45% of their income is meeting the covenant to take care of the poor and to take care of the needy in our culture. And I think that would change everything real fast.
It would. Well, because most of the churches that we complain about would be the ones that would then be taxed, right? Because they're the ones that are pouring most of their money into internally, right? And that's something as I've entered into this new role in my life and started to have the opportunity to do some coaching and stuff like that with local churches or local pastors. My thing is always, how much money can you send out the door? How much money can you give to the community? How much resources, how much, all of these things, time and effort and from inside the building can you push outward? Because an outward focused church is a healthy church. An inward focused church is unhealthy. And
an inward focused church is a cult.
Yeah. Hell on the head right there, April.
And my wife is my wife is the CEO of a not-for-profit organization, not a church, but a 501c3. And so she gets called because of who she is to endorse candidates on a regular basis. And every time she says, I am not allowed as an employee of a 501c3 to publicly endorse a candidate. Right. And there is, I don't know if this is a California law or national law, but you can use something like 6% of your income to promote issues-oriented campaigns. So you can't endorse candidates or parties, but issues. And they measure it to the dollar. They're like, we are not going over this. And fucking churches, you should have to do the same. You should have to prove that you're not spending money and time promoting political candidates because it is against the law.
Yeah. But what do you do when a pastor is standing up there like a damn Greg Locke or whoever, and week after week after week? I mean, does his entire salary count against that?
That's the thing. Greg Locke is so political. And sidebar,
but he's not the only one.
No. There, it's everywhere. But I just wanted to say that because this is funny. Greg Locke has now made a third Twitter account because he keeps getting banned. So his most recent one just tweeted today, and he's like, I will not be silent. I will not be silent. Twitter's trying to silence me because I got the truth.
And then they snuffed him out real quick.
No, he's still there. I retweeted it, and I was like, I added Twitter support, and I was like, come get your boy, Twitter. It's going crazy. I'm so done. I'm so over it all.
So somebody said, April, you're on fire today, and they
She
were right on.
is. The
Guys, I
fireballs are coming
just
in
thought of another
quick.
video. I've got another video that
Is it the
that
lizard one? You told us about it.
yes.
Okay.
You've got to
good.
blind react to this
I'm
one.
pretty excited
Okay.
about this.
You got to blind react to this one.
Okay.
Oh, I missed the show.
After Derek and I got married, one night, this other Derek
Derek's her husband.
appears in our bed.
Other Derek.
Real Derek is lying down next to me.
Hey.
Other Derek sits right up out of him.
Mm.
It startled me. I knew that was not Derek. And so I asked this critter, who are you? Because he clearly wanted to have sexual relations.
Ooh.
And he said, come on, I'm your husband. I said, who are you?
Yeah.
And he had the nerve to claim to be Ahasuerus, Xerxes.
What?
Well, other Derek seriously wanted to invite me to use my free will to do something that was going to pull me away from God.
Huh.
That was amazing.
Wait.
I love
I'm
Anna
so
Gaspar.
confused. Is that a type of lizard? What did she say? I don't even remember the word.
Here's a good comment. Did you see the faces of the guys? They're like,
That's the most action they've got in a while. Just hearing her talk about it.
Tell us a little bit more. You like the lizards?
were they?
What did the lizard say?
Was their money circumcised?
Was their money circumcised?
Oh,
that's terrible. That's terrible.
Oh my
no,
God.
yeah, that's the best part. But she's just like, there was another Derek.
But apparently he just like sat up out of Derek. I think that lady took a CBD gummy that had THC in it.
Gummy. Yeah.
She took a Delta 8.
She was high as shit.
She didn't know Delta 8 had THC.
what is it with Christian prophets and lizards these days? Where did all of that come from?
The reptilian aliens are coming down with their Jewish space lasers to
Jewish space lasers. Thank you, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
traffic children.
Thank you, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh my
We'll
Like,
take
God.
well,
it
that's part of
here.
QAnon too. They think the Democrats are worshiping a reptilian alien god that makes them all the Democrats drink children's blood and that and to stay young.
They're
I'll be
all
like,
blessed.
have you seen Nancy Pelosi? Like, I don't think she's participating.
Joe Biden? Yeah, I
No,
don't think it's working.
I don't think it's working. So stupid.
Oh my
They're
God.
so
Where do we get it? God.
What
But
have
it
we
did.
become?
It sounded like, I mean, it sounded like some just disgusting fantasy. Like she was so excited. But the best part were the dudes around her who probably were so like into purity culture, they were still virgins.
The one guy was just nodding
Yeah.
nonstop, and the other guy looked like he was just stunned. Like,
So then
he's
so
never
then
heard a
what did he
woman
do?
say sex before.
So then what did he do? Yeah. Yeah. Did
I
he
mean, look
like
at their
that?
faces. Look at the faces of these
I
guys.
said, who are you?
They look so
You have
uncomfortable.
the nerve to claim to
You have the nerve to claim to me to you critter.
You-
Get out of my bed, other Derek.
You tell me who I am. I'll be whoever you want me to be. That's what those guys are. Those guys are gross. The dude with the goatee was super creepy.
And that, by the way, is the Jim Baker show.
That was the Jim Baker show.
That's the Jim Baker show. Yeah.
Who were those
Hey,
other
you've been
two
on
guys?
that, April.
I know I've been on the Jim Baker show.
Surprisingly, I don't know who those guys are because I'm not a regular partaker of the Jim Baker show.
Shocker, Paul.
My
I did watch
past life.
the Eyes of Tammy Faye the other night, though. It's definitely worth the watch.
I do want to watch that. My when we were on the show, my dad was on twice. I was on the one time. It was Father's Day, and they were selling a Father's Day sword to give as a gift.
And so Jim Baker, since my dad was a guest.
Was this when you were singing your Jesus Bless the USA song? Or
Yeah, it was America Say Jesus, Paul.
America Say Jesus. Na-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah.
Good memory, Jeremy. That was 100% the tune. I need to rewrite it now. And I don't know. See,
April, that's some really good content.
I need Tosh.0 redemption on that song.
Oh, I'll do that with you. I do not mind. We should do that on an Evangelicalish.
America needs Jesus, but not in that way.
Then what did the lizard do?
Or just say, America, stop saying Jesus. Please get that name out of your mouth. You're embarrassing us.
Did you write that?
I did. It was original.
Right.
An original conservative Christian nationalist song
Tino
that I
says
sang on the Jim Baker show.
That's his ringtone now.
Also, I should take the clip out of that same show. I have the whole show on DVD. There's a couple of them. And right after my song, they did a 2-minute commercial for a Revelation Generation emergency backpack, which is what happens when the tribulation happens.
Along with his 80-gallon buckets of never perishing
the
food.
commercial is so elaborate. There's a tiny little red flag in there for you to call for help if you need it. And it had water bags in there that are good for up to I think it was either 5 or 7 years. And this was 15 years ago. So whoever bought those backpacks, water's wasted. Water will not work. So you don't even have to rebuy, your Generation Revelation emergency backpack.
All right, I think
it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, let me hit a mid-roll and let's finish up with our cancel culture just for fun. And then we'll wrap it up. Here we go.
Are you loving Evangelicalish? Follow us to catch all the latest content and encouragement. You can check us out on TikTok by following @Evangelicalish or subscribe on YouTube by searching Evangelical-ish. That's Evangelical with an ISH. And don't forget to catch our live streams each and every single Wednesday night on YouTube at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 Pacific. And now, back to the Evangelical-ish podcast.
So let's talk about cancel culture. I don't remember how we were going to come into this.
We were going to come into it because Jeremy was featured on our favorite news show, Fox News.
Yeah.
And then you got some. They sent you a bunch of really kind messages, didn't they, Jeremy?
They did. They sent me a lot of really great messages. This was one of my personal favorites.
Somebody read that for our podcast.
Oh my gosh, I
listeners.
could not get through that. I would stumble so bad.
I believe the gentleman's name is Fucker Couch. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, that's correct.
It's Fakur.
Fakur. You got to roll the R. Fakur Couch. Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon. F you, crybaby ass bitch.
I love that you censored the fuck on that one. When you've said it 3 other times tonight, and you're like, F you. Why are you saying F-ball?
I got saved in the middle of that.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah,
I told you I'm in a mood. I think it's because I've had a month of just angst built up because we haven't had a show. It's just all coming out now.
Yeah, there was that one. There was this one. This is one of my favorites. You should just be able to scroll up, I think. It was like well, Mr. Lukewarm.
Spew you from my mouth, pseudo pastor.
I see that you are one of those feel good and avoid confrontation with sin fake pastors. God is love, God is forgiveness, but God is also a disciplinarian and does not avoid confrontation with sin. Nathan did that with David when he was adulterous. The church is supposed to be confrontational if sin in our government is on the wide road to hell. It also appears that you are in the bus with them, but professing to be a pastor. You are getting a special place there. Biden's immorality and crimes deserve the confrontation that was issued with the slogan, and it should be shouted from the rooftops. You, sir, are an evil man and will pay for your deeds if you do not repent and change. God bless you. In the name of Jesus. There's more hot coals for your head. At least they said, God bless you, in the middle of condemning you to hell.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a special place in hell for you, but God bless you.
The funny thing, Jeremy, is you were on my podcast a long, long time ago.
Oh gosh. I mean, was it before Evangelicalish, Paul?
It was in the very early days of us even knowing each other.
Yeah.
And then you were on Fox News, and all of a sudden people found you on my podcast, and I started getting cracky death threat comments on my page because of you.
Okay,
So
you need to say why you were on Fox News so people listening know.
So I put out a I put out a video talking about the situation that happened at John Hagee's church. From the fucking my kids,
where they were chanting "Let's go, Brandon" in the sanctuary.
Let's go, Brandon, in the sanctuary, in the church. It was a part of the Awaken America conference or something like that, right? So I just came out with a video and basically said, because I had a ton of people. Somebody had shot the video and put it on TikTok, and then all of us were tagged in it. Multiple times, I think. And then you put out a video and I was tagged in your video a few times because all of this happened like on Sunday morning as I was preaching. So I was like driving to see my wife, who is doing a travel contract out of Oklahoma City. So the church that I'm preaching at physically in the Oklahoma area is south of Oklahoma City. And then I was going to go see her for lunch. So I was driving there and I saw these tags and I was like, what in the world is going on? So I went and looked and I was tagged in like your video and somebody else's video and like 2 other videos. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. So then I stopped at a gas station and was like, I've got to respond to this. Like, this is nuts. And so I put out a video, and basically what I said was, and I don't think this is super crazy. I said, well, let me not get ahead of myself. I said, look, this is white Christian nationalism to a T. The fact that this is being chanted in a church is unacceptable. And we need to do better. Your political views, and I didn't go into the whole, well, I'm the pastor who voted for Joe Biden or any of that garbage. I just said, your political views don't have any space in that place because Jesus is bigger than our political boxes in America.
Amen.
And so I said that. And then I got a phone call from the next day. I got a phone call from a journalist with a local news station, which is a Fox affiliate, like Fox, not Fox News. I know they're all ran by the same people.
Large Fox.
Yeah. A Fox affiliate in San Antonio, which I thought was kind of weird.
That's where John Hagee's church is.
Yeah, right. Well, right.
Yeah.
But why they contacted me versus tried to keep it local was kind of strange, right? Because usually when local news stations do stories, they try to keep it centric, right? And so, but I was glad to do an interview with her, and I was thankful she called. So I did a Zoom interview with her, and so we had a conversation. It aired the next morning, or actually that evening. It aired, and then it also aired the following morning. And all of a sudden, my email inbox, my website connection page, my DMs on every one of my platforms, including like my personal Facebook page, all of those things started like flooding. Paul starts talking about getting messages in because when you Google me, like one of the first things that pops up is Paul's podcast. And so it's like all these things, and so start getting this flood. The 2 comments that we read were probably middle of the road.
Because you got death threats, right?
I got death threats. Yeah, I definitely got some death threats. Some like very real, like there were a couple of them that that I'm not allowed to share. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to share because of where they're at in life. So and so it has been an absolute wild roller coaster. But it's insane because when you say things like,
you should keep your personal politics out of the church and make it about Jesus, people are like, fuck you, we want to kill you. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
And these are the people against cancel culture, right?
Yes, they are against cancel culture. Yeah.
But they literally want to cancel you by unaliving you.
But yeah. And so I actually shared a video about that yesterday where I was like, a lot of these people have encouraged me to take the next exit off of Earth.
Oh my gosh. They mass report us too. Like, I get videos taken down all the time because evangelicals don't like the stuff that I'm posting. And they're like, you're making Christianity look bad. Like, I'm not doing that. Y'all are doing that all on your own. I'm just being like, look at these people.
I had a lady on a live today tell me they were mass reporting me. But the funny thing about cancel culture is that Christians are the best at it, complain about it the most, and are the best at it. I was going to show you guys a video. I made this. This is a pretty old one on my TikTok, but this is about the Christian ability to dominate at cancel culture. Let's see if I can play this.
Christians, as we scream about Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head, can I remind us that we invented cancel culture? Here's just a few of the things Christians have tried to cancel in my lifetime. Welfare for Moms, Teletubbies, Disney, PBS, Mapplethorpe Art, the NFL and Colin Kaepernick, Nike for sponsoring Colin Kaepernick, the NBA, the WNBA, even though we don't think women should play sports, Major League Baseball, the Dixie Chicks, French fries, we changed the name to Freedom Fries, Procter & Gamble for having a 666 in their logo, the Last Temptation of Christ movie, Harry Potter movies, Hunger Game movies, the last book in the Chronicles of Narnia series, the Muppets research for HIV vaccines, Starbucks for not being Christmas enough, gay marriage, gay weddings, TV shows with gay people in them, Hollywoods, and celebrities in general. And we started our own TV and radio stations, record labels, and schools. Could it be that Christians are not so much canceled as we're just being treated as antisocial jerks?
Mm-hmm. Also, Target. Remember when they canceled
Target? I was working at Target at the time.
What did they cancel Target for?
The bathroom bill.
Yep.
Target said they were that people can use whatever bathroom they identify as, and they lost their minds.
Maybe that was that was after I was working at Target. They tried to cancel Target, or at least in this area, they tried to cancel Target because Target put some like pro LGBTQIA stuff up in their store like in 2006 or 2007. And people were like, "No, about that."
They've canceled Target a couple different times,
and yet here Target is just opening more stores.
Yeah, so stupid. Did you mention now Sesame Street? They're canceling Sesame Street, and don't forget Franklin Graham and John Piper for the COVID vaccine.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's new since the last time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then claim to be oppressed. It's incredible. And I mean, how many times has the church boycotted Disney? Like that's.
Oh yeah. Disney. I've seen some people boycott Hilton because they made like special promos for like gay getaways. Like it was like a special rate for like they were like mad about that with Hilton. Also Beth Moore. I've seen them say Beth Moore is like, they think she's been bought by George Soros now. Same with Russell Moore. I'm not kidding you. My first interaction with
Blue's Clues get
Clues. Why did Blue's Clues get canceled?
There's no way.
Did you guys know Steve from Blue's Clues is on TikTok?
Yes.
No.
Yes, he is.
Get out of here.
He's such a good soul. I just
and by the way, people ask me from that video a lot of the last book of the Chronicles of Narnia. Like there's a lot of Christian schools that will let all of the series be read except the final battle because it sounds universalist. It has a universalist component at the end of it.
Well, but do they know that Tolkien actually wrote a lot of the Chronicles of Narnia, not the entire thing. There's actually some speculation about how much he wrote while he was still an atheist. So him and J.R.R. Tolkien were friends, and he began writing the Chronicles of Narnia. So Tolkien said,
I dare you to read the entirety of Scripture, namely the Gospels, and tell me that it's not true. So Lewis began reading through the entirety of Scripture, and he got into the Gospels, and he realized how he was like, if this is the best-selling book in the world, then if I make it about animals, then everyone will love it, right? And so he began writing the Chronicles of Narnia, following the story arc of the Gospels, with this imaginary world. And so it's really fascinating because and then at some point through the process, Lewis says that, you know, he saw the entirety of Scripture and he couldn't deny the goodness of Jesus, right? And so that's when he kind of makes that conversion. So I think what's interesting is we see Lewis like going through the process of sanctification, and he lands at this place where a lot of people are really uncomfortable. And it's like, well, maybe if you trusted in him for the first part, maybe you should follow him the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There's a great character that we need to address everything we talked about today in Chronicles of Narnia called Puddleglum. Do you remember Puddleglum? And they're in the underworld, and the witch is like hypnotizing the group to tell them, you know, Aslan and Narnia doesn't really exist. And they're all like falling into the spell, and they're about to, you know, believe what they're being told by right-wing media. And then Puddleglum at the last minute sticks his foot in the fireplace and burns his foot, and that breaks the spell for everyone. And then they're like, well, of course there's an overworld. So we need Puddleglum in the church today.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Puddleglum.
Puddleglum.
Let's change our name. Let's change the name of our podcast
to Puddleglum.
Puddleglumish.
Puddleglumish. Oh, hey, Jeremy, I've seen a couple times. They want to know if you ever watched Ted Lasso.
So I am planning on watching it.
Oh,
what?
Planning on.
You had a whole month. A whole month.
I have not had a whole
I know
month.
you were getting death threats. It's okay. It's okay. Move on.
First off,
you have a good excuse.
Yeah.
April, you know my wife's grandma died, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just kidding. That was
suddenly.
No, you're not kidding, because I know she actually did die. And
yeah. No. It has been so. Let me back that up. I'm just messing.
I don't know how to recover.
Yeah. What do we do?
You give me so much shit. You should not recover. No, I'm kidding.
You just use your wife's grandma's death to like shame me on
because
Alive.
You dunk on me constantly. Okay, let me back up and say. All right. Trevor says, what the hell?
What the hell?
All right. Let me back up and say it has been a crazy 3 weeks for me. Just with everything going on. It has been good that there hasn't been a show, just with everything in the world. And so hey, shut up, Stefan. Jiminy Christmas. These people. I love you all. So it has been a crazy few weeks. You know, insanity. I fully intend on watching the show. I subscribed to Apple TV just so I could watch the show.
Good.
I have not had a chance to do it yet.
Okay.
So please give me a chance just to explain that. I've been given death threats. I've had to preach a funeral. Like, I mean, there's a lot. There was a whole holiday. Like, there's a lot going on. No, Kristen. It's not just excuses. Listen, excuses are like buttholes. Everybody has them and they stink, okay? But this is not excuses. This is not excuses. This is real life with, you know, real stuff.
We're not getting on you because we're being fundamentalist about Ted Lasso. You will be happy that you do when you make room for it.
I'm excited about it. Like I'm not angry. I'm not bitter about, like, I'm super excited.
I get it. Sometimes it can be hard for me to start a show because it's commitment. You know, once you start it, you've got a couple seasons, 2 to 3 seasons. But you know, once you start it though, then you're happy you did when it's a good show.
I just don't have a ton of TV time. That's my problem. And when I do, like, it's easy to go to the old faithfuls, Friends, The Office.
No, see, that's where you stop. Stop watching you've seen them. You've seen them, Jeremy. You know what happens in them.
But it's
But isn't it the
nice.
worst
Like,
thing ever when you finish a series and then you're like, now what am I going to do with my
A
life?
show
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
Yes.
I went
That's
back
when I
and
watch
watched The
movies.
Sopranos, and now I don't have any idea what to do with my life now that
I've seen Lord of the Rings, Tino. I've seen Lord of the Rings. My wife has forced me to
They're
watch Lord of the
amazing.
Rings. It's
They're
okay.
the amazing movies.
It's all
Oh,
right.
no, stop. This is why I get on your case. Saying Lord of the Rings is okay is blasphemy.
Get on your case. Do you like Gladiator, April?
I mean, yeah, I like
See,
Gladiator. It's a good movie.
No, that's like, nah, I like Gladiator. Okay. That's what you're saying.
now I
I've
would
only
say
seen it like once, and it was many, many years ago, but I really enjoyed it when I watched it.
the third Lord of the Rings movie was one of the greatest movies I ever saw for like 2.5 hours. And then it went like another hour and 15 minutes of total shit.
It was total shit. No,
Oh, it was terrible.
Like, it
All
was
these hobbits jumping around and screaming. It was
screaming.
Terrible. It went
okay.
I can't deal with it, man. Like
way too long.
I need
Okay,
realism.
fair. Okay, listen. The last movie of it's fair. It had like 5 different endings, right? It could have ended easily 40 minutes earlier.
Literally,
But
let me
if
jump in. Literally, people clapped because they thought the movie was over, and they're like, "Great ending!" Oh, we're still going.
You know what, though? When you love being in Middle Earth as much as I do, as much as people who truly appreciate art and the storytelling of J.R.R. Tolkien, you are. I was thankful for each single extra 5-minute ending. I cried when it ended. I would have sat there for 10 hours. They're beautiful. It's a beautiful story. It's the best movies ever made. I stand by it. And I wish they added 10 more endings because I just wanted to live in that world a little bit longer.
It's exactly what it seemed like. Like they had to be so true to the books for people like April that they went way too long.
They even cut. There's like a whole other storyline where they go back to the Shire and it's overrun by orcs. I guess y'all would have hated that, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. By the end of that third movie, I was like, please let me out of this theater. Please.
Stop. It's a masterpiece. Masterpiece.
No. Listen, I appreciate your appreciation of.
It's fine. Out of the 3 of us, though, I'm the most cultured in art and like movie watching and show watching, I feel like. So I think my opinion matters the most.
No. Wow.
I'm literally a filmmaker.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
And my brother said April's Southern accent comes out when she's heated. I didn't notice, but
you know what?
I'm just kidding, guys. That was kind of mean, so I'm sorry. You guys are cultured as well, and
I've seen Citizen Kane, and I think it's a great movie.
Paul's cultured. Jeremy's watches Friends.
Boom. All right,
I'm just kidding, Jeremy.
We better wrap this sucker up.
I am, but you also don't watch a lot of stuff. If you watch Ted Lasso, I will give you so much props.
If you are so cultured, and so ahead of the curve, then you would understand that movies and shows are not the only thing that huh?
What are you trying to get to? Like, you're saying music? Are you more into music?
I appreciate music. I appreciate Broadway. I've been to a lot of plays.
All fair things.
So listen, you saying that these are the only things that make you cultured or appreciate the arts, it makes you narrow.
Ooh. I think I'm going to separate you two.
Listen, it's been a while since I've been an evangelical and someone's called me narrow. So
it's a little bit narrow. So
look at the shot at Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley coming out to the West Coast here.
Yeah, that's garbage. Golly, that was nasty. Okay, y'all.
All right, we better wrap this sucker up. That is a rousing return to season 5, my friend.
It was that. We're back. We're all
right.
back.
We'll see y'all next week.
See y'all. Bye, guys.